Right, hello from New York.
Greetings from London.
Excellent. Today we're talking about the agency TV buying deals and asking, has our addiction to ever cheaper and cheaper media now gone too far? Right, mate, so what's going on? Why are we talking about agency TV deals?
Well, this is about a major disagreement that has been rumbling for months now between a major media holding company and a broadcaster here in the UK. Publicis Media and Channel 4, one of the big terrestrial channels here in the UK, have been unable to agree on a trading deal between the two companies for 2019, okay? And these negotiations began the back end of last year and they've only just been resolved this week. Publicis want to do the deal based on volume, and Channel 4 wanted to do the deal based on share, the amount of money. That has only just been resolved, obviously putting a massive amount of pressure on Publicis because their clients are looking to advertise on Channel 4.
Yeah. And you know, this seems to be like a perennial thing, right? I think last year, Dentsu agency in the UK fell out with IT, or ended up in the court, I think, with ITV, one of the other kind of major terrestrial channels. We've had disputes between Group M and Channel 4 over the years, and Omnicom and Channel 4 and ITV, and every year. And the reason is and this is kind of slightly nonsensical, is that every single year agencies are required to renegotiate terms with the broadcasters. And so in Q4, in the autumn, or as over here we call the fall, the agencies are trying to renegotiate terms for the coming year ahead. And the ambition on both sides is that they get a deal in place for January that sets the terms of the way TV is going to be bought. Now in the UK, for many years, it's the kind of legacy way it works, is these share deals. And that's basically the broadcaster saying, actually, frankly, I don't care what amount of spend you spend with us, I just want to protect a certain share of the market, which is a kind of slightly peculiar dynamic, if you think about it, because it's asking the agency to decide on the 1st of January how they're going to allocate their clients' TV budgets up front.
So what are the implications?
The implications, I mean, it's not good when agencies and broadcasters fall out, as you said, because it requires them to, pull client spending, advertiser spending off air on those channels and reallocate. And that may not be in the best interest, obviously, of the advertisers, because they might want to be on a particular channel. So this is, this is an argument between the agency and the broadcaster, but the only loser really is the advertiser who can't get what they want. Now, both sides will say they're acting with the right intention, but it's a slightly farcical thing, this annual requirement to renegotiate terms. Agencies are trying to, obviously get the best deal, so they say, for their advertiser clients, and they're also trying to perhaps improve terms for themselves in terms of the way that they maybe can make money out of, TV buying. The broadcasters want to protect their share of revenue, so you have this dynamic of at the beginning of the year, the broadcasters wanted commitments from every single major agency how much share of their TV budget is going to, the total advertisers' TV budget is going to come to their channel versus somebody else's. And in the UK, Channel 4 take about it's about a quarter of the TV market in terms of billings. Now, the implication of that can create some really perverse and bizarre behavior, because it effectively means that from the agency side, they know that, frankly, whatever their clients ask them to do, whatever the brief is, they know that 25% of all the dollars or the pounds that come from advertisers looking to advertise on TV are going to go onto Channel 4, irrespective of what the actual advertiser wants, which is an absolutely terrible way of doing media planning, because the buy, i.e. the trading bit of that agreement, the risk is that can affect what goes on the plan, right? Because they know that 25% of TV budgets have to go on Channel 4. So rightly, agencies are fighting back against these share deals. They don't make any sense at all, and they don't really benefit the advertiser, except in potentially lowering price, and we'll come on to that.
Yeah, but it's absolute madness, right? I mean, this way of trading, this approach to trading is a legacy from 20, 25, 30 years ago when there were only a couple of channels and TV planning and buying was pretty simple, okay? Yeah. But now when you're asking an agency to be a strategic thought leader, to provide you with channel neutral, media plans, yet you're restricted to fulfilling a trading agreement that forces your agency to commit a proportion of spend to one particular channel, it compromises absolutely everything.
Yeah, exactly. And unfortunately, for many big media trading agencies and organizations, these kind of volume commitment deals or share deals, and they're different dynamics. But this idea of upfront trading client volume of billings in order to get a better price the agencies have been somewhat guilty of creating this mechanic, but we have to recognize that they do that really often in response to the demand of the advertiser to lower the pricing.
Yeah.
So that's the tyranny,
absolutely,
if you like, or the vice maybe that we could say that the agencies are caught in somewhat, is that the advertiser, the demanding, and they've been educated and conditioned to demand obsessed with this cheaper and cheaper pricing, or get addicted to cheaper and cheaper pricing. And these volume deals and share deals are what deliver that cheaper pricing, because publicists in this case are saying, right, our clients are demanding cheaper media, let's say on channel 4, or better pricing on channel 4. So the agency have to go and try and negotiate improved terms against channel 4. And one of the ways that they now have to concede to do that is that they have to meet channel 4's demands in terms of a share commitment. In order to be able to meet channel 4 inventory at a price which is acceptable to the client. So, it ultimately ladders all the way back up to this, obsession and complete distraction that many advertisers seem to have with lowering the price of media, and this is one of the sad implications.
Yeah. Another implication, and where I think this is particularly unfair, is that the advertisers that suffer most when this is the approach to trading are actually the least sophisticated and smaller advertisers, because you've got the big advertisers, the ones that benefit from all of the discounts anyway, and they're the ones that are more sophisticated in the way that they look at their media plans, and they're telling the agency perhaps that they don't want to invest so much on a particular broadcaster. In order then to compensate for the commitment, the share commitment that holding group has made to that broadcaster, it has to come from somewhere. And often it's the smaller advertisers, the ones that don't have as much governance over their media planning process, that have to overcompensate in order to fulfill those trading agreements. And that's particularly brutal, I think, on those types of advertisers. Yeah.
I mean, and we've over the years, we've seen a number of examples, right, of advertisers where we've had like marketers come to us and say, as part of some other kind of bigger discussion, okay, can I just ask you a question? On my plan here from the agency, I seem to have 80% of my money committed to like channel 4. Why do you think that is? And you go, well, this is a product of share deals.
Yeah. That's right.
Sometimes the agency are going to be in a position where they've got to kind of load up loads of a particular broadcaster's inventory on a plan because they've got to meet that 27% commitment or whatever it is. That's not, in these examples, it's not helping drive a business outcome. It's not using media money like an investment in growth, like we keep saying. So, share deals probably bad all round and need to go away. So, mate, from the marketer side, then, so what are the questions if you are a client of one of these agencies involved in these kind of trading spats with a broadcaster? What should you be thinking and what should you be asking?
Yeah. Well, they're not going to go away. They're just a fact of life, unfortunately. But advertisers should at least have a point of view, and they should be going to their agencies, asking them the question, to what degree have you, my agency, committed my TV investment on a particular channel? And what are the implications of that? What are the implications of me changing my media strategy throughout the year? And will I be penalized based on the commitments that you've made? Ask the question. That's the most important thing. Be informed as to why they are investing your money in a certain way.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, ask the questions, get involved. The deals are being done kind of in your name. Typically, as you mentioned before, I mean, in the name of the major advertisers, right? Because that's where the greatest kind of volume is. So if you feel yourself, if you are a kind of mid-size, let's say, or you're not feeling like a top-tier advertiser of a particular agency, which is a problem in itself, go ask the questions, find out how these things work. Really, we would advocate that you lobby that you should be part of a volume deal, not a share deal.
Yeah, that's right.
And demand that the pricing for TV should only be set based on the volume commitment. That is, after the plan has been made. The agency are planning media in theory, based on your brief, right? And they should go out and buy TV based on what you require to drive your business outcome. You've got to be very comfortable that that's happening. If you suspect that the agency may be allocating upfront your TV budget ahead of you even explaining to them what you're trying to do as a business, then that should kind of stink pretty strong, and go in and challenge that process. Interrogate the plan, ask questions, trust your instincts.
And also, if you're looking for a point of reference, go and speak to an independent agency. Independent agencies that are highly successful have built their trading approach on doing direct deals, an advertiser to broadcaster deals. So they veer away from volume or share deals, and they're still highly effective and drive massive kind of savings for their advertisers. They just do it in a different way. So having that as a point of reference versus the volume or share deals that are adopted by many of the big holding groups might be a good way of interrogating both approaches.
Yeah, good advice. Okay, mate, good week 4.
Beeswax.
Beeswax.
They are a US-based ad tech, in-housing specialist agency. They've just secured $15 million worth of funding, another reflection of the market looking to kind of think differently about ways of taking more control in-house. So a very good week for Beeswax.
Yes, very well.
A bad week for?
It's a bad week for Google, but they probably won't notice, maybe, because Google have been landed with the largest fine so far issued under GDPR potential breach of GDPR regulation. So in France, a regulator has fined them 50 million euros, about $60 million. They breached what's called Article 13, which is where you're obliged to give people information about how and why you're gathering data and all that kind of stuff, and get informed consent. So they've been slapped with a fine. If you remember, GDPR came into force last year. It's been in action in place about 6 months. And this is the first really big high-profile fine. The maximum fine, we talked about at the time, that a company could be fined would be 4% of turnover. 4% of turnover for Google is about $3.5 billion. This fine is a piddly 50 million euros. So they may not even notice, but it certainly got the headlines. Right, question of the week. Should this be the end of agency share deals?
Yes, no, whatever.
Excellent. Please do leave comments down below. This is an area where maybe we haven't covered all the angles of this thing. And if you've got a different perspective, we'd love to hear from you. But that's your media snack for this week. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.
See you next time.